All right, today we're going to tackle one of the most ambitious databases ever built, Google's Cloud Spanner. You see, it was engineered to solve this massive headache that plagued the internet for years, a problem that forced developers to make a truly impossible choice between two things they absolutely needed. Let's break down how Google claims to have solved it.
So, for the longest time, the database world has pretty much looked like this chart. You've got the giants up top, Oracle, MySQL, and look, they're incredible pieces of technology. But here's the thing, they were born in a totally different era, an era of single data centers. And in our hyper-connected global world, well, their limits really started to show, and it pushed developers into a really tough corner. And this slide is that corner. On one side, you've got your traditional SQL databases. They give you what's called strong consistency. That just means your data is always immediately 100% accurate. The trade-off? They are a real pain to scale out across the globe. Then on the other side, you've got NoSQL databases. They give you massive, incredible scale, but you pay for it with something called eventual consistency. That means your data might be out of sync for a little while across different locations. So you could have scale or you could have consistency. Pick one. You couldn't have both. So here's how we're going to break this all down today. First, we'll dig into that global data problem. Then we'll introduce Spanner as this new hybrid solution. We'll get into the magic that actually makes it work, talk a little bit about how to design for it, and then finally figure out when it really makes sense to use this thing. Okay, first up, the global data problem. This is really the heart of it, the core reason that Spanner even exists. It's all about that fundamental idea that you just couldn't have it all. And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. For any business trying to operate on a global scale, we're talking finance, e-commerce, gaming, you name it, this choice was just agonizing, right? Do you risk your data being inconsistent just so you can serve a global audience? Or do you limit your own growth to make sure your data is perfect? Neither one of those sounds like a great option. And that, of course, brings us to our main subject today, Spanner. Shows up on the scene, this new kind of hybrid database that claims it can finally break that trade-off. So what is it, officially? Well, Cloud Spanner is a fully managed, globally distributed relational database. Now, the key part of that sentence, the part you really got to pay attention to, is at the end. It combines all the familiar SQL stuff that developers know and love, schemas, transactions, all that good stuff, with the massive horizontal scale that, until now, you could only get from NoSQL. Now, check out the promises on this slide. This is the really wild part. Strong consistency, but globally. Horizontal scaling, but it's automatic. You get full SQL support, so your teams don't have to relearn everything from scratch. And then, just to top it off, it's backed by a 5 nines availability SLA. I mean, come on. This is literally the promise of having your cake and eating it too. Okay, so the big question, how in the world does Google actually pull this off? Let's dive into the magic behind it all. It really boils down to two absolutely groundbreaking pieces of tech. Okay, so the first piece of this puzzle is a thing called Paxos. The easiest way to think about it is like a super sophisticated distributed voting system. Before any piece of data gets written, a majority of the servers spread out across different locations all have to vote and agree to accept that right. It's a way of making sure that even if one server goes down, the whole system still agrees on what the truth is. But this is the real showstopper. It's Google's TrueTime API. This is literally Google's own private global clock service. They use GPS receivers and atomic clocks inside their data centers to know the time anywhere on Earth within a tiny little window of uncertainty. We're talking just a few milliseconds. And that ability to know the precise order of events across the entire planet, well, that's the secret weapon. So let's put it all together. Here's how it works. A transaction comes in. The main server, the leader, asks TrueTime for a timestamp. Then, and this is the clever part, it just waits. It waits for that tiny little millisecond window of uncertainty to pass. Why? Because now it knows for a fact that its timestamp is in the past. Only then does it send the right out for that Paxos vote. And because of this process, every single transaction anywhere in the world gets a timestamp that guarantees a globally consistent, knowable order. It's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so Spanner is obviously super powerful, but, and this is a big but, you have to use it right. Designing for a globally distributed database like this, well, it forces you to think about your data in a whole new way. The single biggest mistake people make, the biggest challenge by far, is something called a hotspot. Remember, Spanner automatically splits your data across tons of servers. A hotspot is what happens when your design accidentally funnels way too many requests, especially writes, to just one of those servers. That poor server gets totally overwhelmed while all the others are just sitting around bored. And here's the classic anti-pattern, the thing you absolutely should not do. It's using a primary key that just keeps getting bigger, like a timestamp or a simple counter. Think about it. Since Spanner keeps your data sorted by that key, every single new piece of data goes to the very end of the table. That means all the work lands on the one server responsible for that last little slice of your data. And boom, instant hotspot. So, how do you fix it? Simple. You just have to spread the love. You have to design your key to distribute all those writes across the entire key space. So instead of a sequential key, you could use a hash of a unique ID, or you could just swap the order of your keys so the part that's always increasing isn't first. You can see here, this approach sprinkles new writes all over the place, which spreads the load nice and evenly across all your servers. Okay, so with all this power and with these new design rules in mind, when does it actually make sense to choose Spanner for your project? Well, Spanner really shines when you have a global audience and you absolutely cannot, under any circumstances, compromise on data consistency. Think about a financial app processing payments from all over the world. You need every transaction to be perfectly ordered. Or think about a global gaming leaderboard. It has to be the same for every player, everywhere, instantly. Supply chain tracking, logistics, these are the exact problems Spanner was born to solve. All right, so if you only remember 3 things from all this, make it these. First, Spanner is for your most important, mission-critical global applications. Second, it's for jobs where data consistency is simply not negotiable. And finally, its biggest claim to fame is that it breaks that old, painful trade-off, giving you the best of both the SQL and the NoSQL worlds.
And I'll leave you with this question to chew on. We live in a world where pretty much every successful app eventually has to become a global app. So if that's the case, is choosing a database today that can't scale beyond a single region, is that just planning for the past? It's definitely something every developer and architect should be thinking about.